Heavy fighting is ongoing across Gaza as Israeli forces press deeper into Hamas strongholds. Since the end of the last ceasefire in the middle of March, 41 Israeli soldiers have been killed, bringing the total during the ground war to 448. In Judea yesterday, an Israeli man was killed in a stabbing attack at a shopping center. Sources allege the two assailants were members of the Palestinian Authority security forces. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has now departed Washington, following meetings with President Trump and families of the hostages.
We are trying to achieve the release of half of the hostages in exchange for a 60-day ceasefire. If Hamas does not meet our terms through negotiations, we will achieve them by force.
Meanwhile, Israeli officials believe part of Iran's 60% enriched uranium stockpile survived last month's joint airstrikes, buried too deep to be destroyed, although it would be difficult for Iran to remove it. Israel may be quietly planning a new wave of strikes on Iran. And in the Red Sea, Houthi militants have resumed missile and drone attacks, threatening commercial shipping and prompting Israel to call on the U.S. to renew airstrikes against Houthi positions in Yemen. From Jerusalem, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is back with us again. Chris, good to have you again.
Good to be back with you again.
So this visit by Bibi Netanyahu, how did it go? What do you think he accomplished?
Well, I don't think he got everything he wanted to, but I think that in terms of the relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu is really unmatched, as he said himself. I mean, the relationship and the fact that he's not only had one meeting with President Trump, he had 3 meetings. And he met with leaders on Capitol Hill. He also met with evangelical leaders the other night. And I think he of all the prime ministers that I've known about, really fosters this relationship with evangelical leaders. But I think it was a really historic visit, you know, following the war with Iran, and they have major things on the table: the war in Gaza, the continued relationship with Iran. Is Israel going to continue to hit Iranian nuclear sites? And I think he's got the green light. But overall, I think it was a historic visit by the Prime Minister, and really representing, such a close relationship, I think, than ever before between Israel and the U.S.
Well, there's a lot of political developments overseas, at home for him as he's returned home. Pressures here in the United States, and the media loves to make it seem like there's a division and a divide between Netanyahu and Trump. So what is he facing on these ceasefire negotiations?
Well, he's facing, internally, he's facing a lot of challenges on his right and on his left. For example, he wants to maybe pull out of some areas of the Gaza Strip, and some of the ministers on the right are saying, how can you do this? How can you... We have shed blood to get this land and treasure. How can you actually pull out of this area? So that actually threatens his government, Gary. Members of the coalition are threatening to pull out if he goes too far in the ceasefire negotiations. On the other hand, he's getting pressure from many of the hostage families that they say they will do anything to make sure that their loved ones get out of Gaza, including and up to, releasing many more Palestinian prisoners.
And the international community, too. There are a lot of voices out there saying you've got to stop this violence. They blame Israel, even though Israel was attacked, and they're just responding to the attack against them.
Yeah, and they say, if Hamas would surrender, release the hostages, the war would be over. There'd be no need for the fighting. But
how many are left, Chris?
Well, they believe right now about 50, 30 are deceased, 20 are still alive. And just such a difficult time. And this is the one leverage that Hamas has over Israel, and just to keep this fighting going on is these hostages.
So when Netanyahu says we're going to get all the hostages back, we're determined to get them all back, he's talking about deceased as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a big deal for all of the people of Israel to have not only the living hostages released, but the deceased as well. And it's part of their the fabric of their life, but it's also part of Judaism. And they make great efforts to recover even the remains of soldiers from literally years ago in wars past. So it's a big deal. And so that's why it's so important to be praying for Netanyahu, for the peace of Jerusalem, for wisdom for Netanyahu as well as President Trump. These are major issues that they're dealing with that are going to change the face and the future of the Middle East. And
Jerusalem Dateline, you have a lot of issues there you're going to be covering. Tell us what you've got coming up tonight.
Well, tonight there's going to be analysis with Chuck Holton, who's there for about a month now with Julie Stahl. There's also a story, that we're re-airing about Hebron. And Hebron's in the news now because we've talked about it, Gary, about these 5 sheikhs that are saying, we want to join the Abraham Accords. We want to get away from the Palestinian Authority. So we have an analysis about that in Hebron, which is the original capital of the Jewish people, even before Jerusalem. So we have that and all that on this week's Jerusalem Dateline.
Abraham's buried there.
Abraham is buried there, exactly, and as well as Sarah.
Yeah. It's quite a historic place.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Okay, Chris Mitchell, our Middle East Bureau Chief. Safe travels back to Israel, and we appreciate you. Keep up the good work. May God bless you in your efforts.
Thanks, Gary.
And at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can watch tonight, Jerusalem Dateline. You can see the latest. Also watch on the CBN News app or on YouTube.